Hi guys, and welcome to part 4 of our third-person character tutorial series. In this lesson, we'll be using a raycast and a spherecast to get damage and deliver damage to other enemies, which is going to be a lot of fun. This will be a little bit more complicated, so it might take a little bit longer to explain, but I'll see how we go. So let's just create a dummy cube to start off with, and this is going to be our little kind of test hitting pole. This is going to be like our stand-in for our enemy, just so we can be hitting something. Let's call this our dummy. And we can even create like a little new material for him, just so we know he's an enemy and he should be slaughtered. So let's go and drop a shader on him. And let's go to our albedo. And there we go, he's red. That must mean he's dangerous. Alrighty, so we come over here, and what we want to be doing is hitting him. So as you can see, once our sword makes contact with the enemy, it will want to deliver some sort of damage to him. Alright, so what we want to do first is quickly create a health system for our enemy. So let's create a health. Let's come in edit. We're going to say a new variable. We're going to call this guy health. Pretty simple. In our first one, our first state, we're going to say set health, and we're going to say set float value as, let's make it 10, because that's going to be his health, and we're going to be setting the float as health. We're going to say, once that's done, we're going to say finished, and go to an idle state. Idle. We're going to create a new state up here, and this is going to be his get hit state. We're going to create a global transition, so say I'm hit. No, well, maybe to get hit. Make it simple. Alrighty, the global transition. And we're going to say, once that's done, we're going to say finished. Perfect. And we're also going to subtract the float by 2 every time he gets hit. So at the start of the game, his health is going to be set at 10. Then it's going to go to idle. And then once our sword is detected on him, we're going to send a global transition to hit the enemy. We're going to subtract 2, and we're going to go back to idle. And then once that's done, we're going to say to die. So then once his health reaches a certain level, we're going to destroy him. So let's come and create a new action. Destroy self. And we're going to call this one die. Let's make this color red, or maybe orange, because getting hit would be a bit more important. So red. His health can be set at blue. Perfect. And we're going to say a float compare. Once float health is equal to 0, we're going to die. If it's less than 0, we're going to die every frame. And that's our health system all set up in under 2 minutes. Alrighty, so let's come to our sword now. Now this might get a little bit more tricky. So what we want to do is, there's a few ways to do it. So let's actually find our sword in here. If we have our ecosystem, I'm not sure if it actually comes pre-installed. So let's look up spherecast. There we go. So this is the one we're going to want. So this will cast a little sphere around our object that we'll be casting from. So perfect. So what we can do is actually come to both our swords. This will encompass the whole object. Let's create a new FSM. We're going to call this detect enemy on swing, because we only want to detect them when we're swinging. Alrighty, so let's come in here. We're going to say idle, and we're going to create a new event to say to swing. Or actually, maybe not even that. We're going to say is attacking. And what we'll want to do is actually go to our player in our weapon system that we created. And we'll want to set a ball that we'll set up here to say is attacking. So in any of these 3 states, we could be delivering damage because she's in an attacking state. And then as soon as we come back to idle, we'll be setting a new bool saying is not attacking. So let's create this bool, and we're going to say is attacking, And then in 1, we're going to set bool value. And this bool value will be set as positive. Let's copy and paste this into the other 2. So paste and paste. Paste this in idle above everything else and call it to not be valid. So it's going to be turned off. Alright, so now we can come back down to our sword. We're going to get a new bool, which is the same one, so is attacking. And what we're going to do is we're going to get FSM bool from our player model, and we're going to set it as the weapon system, because that's where it's set in, is attacking. We're going to store that is attacking every frame, and we're going to do our bool test. So if our bool is true, we're going to send it to is attacking. And if it's false, then it doesn't really matter, it's just going to stay there. You're going to make it every frame. And then let's call this guy attacking. And then we'll say finished, because that's what's going to happen. What we're going to send if it's not, if it's false. So let's copy these 2 in and paste these into our other one. So let's just switch this guy over. So if it's false, we're going to say it's finished. This is all still relevant. So now we'll want to use that sphere cast we got before. And basically it's going to create a little sphere. So let's turn on debug so I can show you. And let's drag this guy down. And what we want to do quickly is set the distance at maybe 2, direction 1, radius 1. That's all pretty much good, because it's going to be set. It's going to be casting from our sword. And see how we're going to say we're going to store our hit, did hit, and this is going to be perfect. All right, so let's close this and let's see what it's going to look like in our game. Oh, all right, where's that gizmo? Alrighty, so I can't really see the Alrighty, and now we're going to set up our some sort of raycast system or collision system. So basically what we can do is we can actually even set up weak spots onto the character that we're going to be hitting. So we can get quite complicated doing this. So what we can do, probably the easiest way for our system and the most energy, like frame rate efficient, is actually create a new tag for our sword, and we're going to call this the player sword. And let's go back to sword, and we're going to apply this tag to both of these. Well, actually just this one, because this is the whole sword. Perfect. Now, in our dummy, we can actually create a new cube and scale this guy up, scale him down, and we can create different hit areas for our enemy. So this is going to be our little hit boxes in a way. So let's drag this guy and let's make him more on the front. You want to make the hitbox kind of fair. So let's turn off our mesh renderer and create is trigger. So basically this is going to be our front body hit detector. So basically if our player walks up and hits this invisible area from anywhere on the front or the sides, we can deal a certain amount of damage. If she happens to sneak up behind the enemy and hits in behind here, we can set a different value to send a different amount of damage. And vice versa with the head. If she has like a bow and arrow or something, she can go for the headshot and deal like one hit kill or something. So let's just finish setting up this trigger. So what we want to do is, since we have our sword set as our player sword, let's come to our front body hit detector, and we're going to say trigger damage. And let's come to our state, and we're going to call this idle wait for hit. So this is our enemy's trigger waiting to get hit. So let's create a trigger event. So this is once our because this is our trigger object. So once our sword enters our trigger, we're going to be colliding with our player's sword. We're going to send event to get hit. Or actually, let's say to get hit in front. So that way we don't get confused. So to get hit in front, let's send the event, call a finished event. So send the event to get hit in front. We're going to call this send damage. And we're going to send the damage. We're going to send event to our other FSM, which is going to be our enemy's health that we set up. So let's specify the object to dummy, its health, and we're going to say send the event. What's happening now? To get hit. There we go. We need to turn on this this global variable in here. Now we can see it. So let's jump back to here, send event to get hit. And then once that's sent, we're going to wait. So let's see if this is going to trigger. Otherwise, we'll have to make some more adjustments. All right, so let's come in here. So he's waiting to get hit right now. So if I jump in here, there we go. So he sent damage. Let's see what his health is sitting at. Let's create an inspector. So you can see it's 8 now. So we delivered damage. So let's there we go. So we killed him. And what we might actually want to do is create a wait state in between each one. So we can't just spam kill him. So let's go to finished, create a finished one. And let's just say wait for 1.5, which seemed to be the period of our animation. Perfect. And set that as finished. And we could even create a quick GUI for our enemy, so that way we can see what his health is sitting at. So let's create a new UI canvas. And we're going to set this guy as our world space. And let's make his position 0, 0, 0. His scale at 0.02, 0.02, 0.02. And it's still quite large, so now we can just come and manually bring it down. And let's scale this guy down. Perfect. And all we're going to do is really position this above his head. Let's turn it around so it's facing in positive Z direction. Let's create minus 180. I think that was the position. So you want the blue line to be facing towards his forward, his front. All right. Now let's create a new UI text. And let's turn off over and turn it overflow. So this will let it be as big as it wants to be. Whoop, make this white. And let's scale up this font size. Oh, maybe it did need to be the other way. That's great. Make that 0. There we go. Let's just jump and press play and see if it's going to flip. All right, so that's good. So now we need to hook up our new text to our to the damage system, so we can actually see how much damage we're getting. So we can just call 10, just so we can see where it's going to be positioned. We can scale this guy up. Oh, our actual text. Perfect. All right, now let's create the health. Let's come into edit. And basically we're just going to get a string value. We're going to call this health display. And we're going to get a float value, which is our health. And then we're going to convert that to an integer health, because an integer is a full number. We're going to call this health rounded, because that's what an integer is. And let's quickly do our calculation. So we're going to say get FSM float from our dummy. Let's drag this in to our health. We're going to get the variable health, store that as health. Then we're going to get that every frame. We're going to say float to integer. And we're going to be changing the health to a health rounded number. It's going to be the nearest every frame. And then we're going to say integer to string. So then we're going to change the integer into a string value. A string value is what can be displayed in our GUI. And then we're going to say every frame. And then we can drag our text in, set the property. We're going to set the property of the text to our health display every frame. And now when we press play, let's save it, jump out. You'll notice when we deliver damage, it will update. There we go. So we could even, you know how we set that timer so we don't deliver damage really quickly. Let's come in and set this maybe at 0.0 or 0.5. So now we can deliver damage more appropriately. There we go. Yeah. And we slaughtered the evil enemy. So let's quickly, because now that we have our front body detector set up, we can easily set up our back body detector. So let's make this guy nice and small, because we want to make this a bit harder for the enemy to hit, or the player to hit, sorry. So let's create back body hit detector. You want to make sure everything's all nicely named so you know what object's what and you don't get confused. And since this is going to send, we want to probably set up a new event in his health. So we can copy and paste this guy, set this as finished, and let's create a new event to say to 1 hit kill. So let's change this global transition to 1 hit kill. And basically we're going to subtract 10 of his health. So it's going to kill him in 1 hit. 1 hit kill. Perfect. Make sure this guy's ticked for our global transition. And let's jump back into our back body hit. And instead of sending our to get hit, we're going to say to 1 hit kill. And let's save it. Jump back. All right. So you'll notice how the tag is actually affecting it when we walk up to it. So that's something else we'll have to fix. But for right now, it's doing what we want it to do. So let's come around to the back and let's 1 hit kill him. Oh, there we go. So that was a 1 hit kill on his back, pretty much insta kill. Let's do that a bit better. So when I walk around to the side, yeah, can do it. All right, so 1 hit kill and bam. And that's how you can set up different hit points on him. So let's have a little look at how we can actually change our weapons tag on the fly. So it only changes to a different tag when we swing. So remember this detect enemy on swing that we set up? This still works when we're swinging, so it still detects when we're attacking. So this is the perfect area to set up our set the tag. So we can have a look in our set tag for our sword, and in our idle it can be untagged, but then when we're attacking, let's set the tag as player sword. So now you'll notice when we walk up to our box, it's not going to do any damage until we actually swing. There we go. Bang. So we're dealing the damage. Let's go around and take the 1 hit kill. Oh, wasn't long enough. And perfect. So as you can see, when we're actually swinging, we could even reduce the wait time on the front just to make the game more balanced. Let's make it 0.4. And really, this is where all your testing and everything comes in. You can use it appropriately. So, oh, there we go. So now she's taking the guy down. And perfect. Look at that combo. That was lovely. So that's perfect. So we could even, to make the sword a little bit more responsive to the enemy, when it's setting the tag, we could even set a wait timer and say finished. So that way the player has a little bit more leeway. So it's not just on and off for the attack. So let's create a 1 second buffer, but we'll still need to get the bull in here. Or actually, no, it should be fine. It should be fine. It should still work properly. All right, let's just give it a quick test. All right, that's perfect. Alrighty, so that's pretty much been this quick tutorial on how to create a damage system. In our next lesson, I'm going to start creating an artificial AI that will follow us around the map using the same kind of animations I have on my character. And we'll get its damage system linked up just using pretty much copy and paste the enemy that we created for this lesson. And now that we have this guy all set up, it's going to be really fast to pretty much prototype in another enemy. And then we'll create, using navigation, we'll set up a little follow system for us to follow us around and try and take us down. But this has been part 4 of our third-person character tutorial series. I hope you find this interesting. If you have any questions, just let me know on YouTube or on the Unity forums, where I'm always posting updates. And you can get in touch and I'll get back to you. All right, guys, thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.